Speculation is growing about what role billionaire businessman Elon Musk could play in the incoming Trump cabinet, if any. Musk is a close ally of the president-elect and played a major role in his campaign. His political action committee reportedly spent an estimated $200 million to get Trump elected. Washington Post reporter Drew Harwell joins me now for more on that. Drew, thanks for coming on. I know you've been doing some reporting about Musk and his involvement in politics for the Washington Post. So what have you learned about how Musk has leveraged his money, his businesses, his power, really, in order to further his political objectives?
Yeah, so Elon, as you said, poured a ton of money into Trump's campaign and poured a lot of just energy. X, formerly Twitter, became like the Trump show all day, every day. And so Trump is kind of paying him back by, really elevating Elon Musk as, this super genius who can help run the country. And Elon has been down in Mar-a-Lago at the Trump, Transition Nerve Center since the election, basically. Don Jr.'s daughter said he had achieved uncle status. So Elon is hanging around, and the role appears to be not really an official government role, like leading an agency, but really just kind of being in Trump's ear and advising him. Trump has talked about, wanting to put him in charge of a government efficiency commission, which Elon has talked about, trimming $2 trillion off the, $6 trillion federal budget. So that'd be a third of the budget. So he's going to play a really powerful shadow role in shaping the Trump administration, if he stays in the good graces of the president-elect for that long.
Given that, and given he's already the richest man in the world, he holds multiple really powerful companies and so on, would it even be in his interest to be an official member of the Trump administration?
That's a great question. I think not really. I mean, he plays a role right now where he can affect the Trump administration from the outside without really having to sit in a chair in Washington. This is a guy with 6 companies, billions of dollars in government contracts, SpaceX that does private space, Tesla, electric cars, Starlink that does internet. All of these really have a connection to the federal government already. They make billions of dollars from taxpayers every year. But also, Elon faces government investigations right now. Some of these companies are facing, really tough probes from the federal government. So it kind of behooves him to be kind of in the middle of outside and inside and play this shaping role and in his hopes, make sure that the Trump DOJ doesn't come after his companies, allows him to continue to be the richest guy on the planet and keep running his businesses while still having a role in how Washington shakes out.
And many were surprised to hear that he was on the call with President-elect Trump and President Zelensky of Ukraine last week. What are you hearing in terms of the influence he's having or could have on the next administration and kind of that aspect of this?
Yeah, so that was surprising. I mean, again, this is not Elon Musk for all of his success over the years in private enterprise. He has no government experience, right? He has no foreign policy experience. He's a very rich guy with a lot of great businesses. But, he is not somebody who we have traditionally seen as a Secretary of State role doing diplomacy. And yet he has interest in this, right? You can go on his X feed and he is posting dozens of times a day about whatever he wants. And he has a lot of big opinions. And of course, to get a little technical, Starlink is very important to, the Russia-Ukraine fight. Both sides have had a role in using it on the battlefield. And so that I think is going to be surprising to people. I think even inside the Trump administration, there's some questions of how deep his role is really going to go. This is a guy who has his own interest, right? Who that may not always be on the side of America or the Trump administration itself. So that's going to be, I think, it's going to be interesting seeing how this bromance plays out and whether these two, hyper ego titans of America can really kind of coexist and play nice together, even as the going gets tough.
All right, Drew Harwell, well, thank you.